Hello, this is Mel Thompson, and this is a podcast and a series of podcasts about political risk. Today I'll be discussing the sanitation strikes in France. In some host nations, particularly in Europe, we are seeing the austerity measures imposed by governments leading to general strikes and resulting in supply chain disruptions. These disruptions are a natural part of conducting business and must be considered and planned for in a political risk analysis before they occur. But then there are some events that cannot simply stop or move no matter the labor situation. Case in point is the current sanitation strike in France leading up to Euro 2016. This is a football tournament and it starts today. This is a huge event that undoubtedly had a political risk assessment. However, that assessment could not have shown a path to lost revenue due to the stench of garbage. There very well may be people who may not go because of the smell of the garbage or the parking problems or the parking next to garbage. As of the time this was recorded, there are piles of garbage on the streets, and this is making things very uncomfortable and very unsanitary. Now, how we arrived at this point is the same as we arrived at other points in time in Europe since 2008. A government action that changes some part of the social fabric or safety net as a means to cut spending and balance budgets. Whether for right or for wrong, that's how these things have gone. In this particular case, the issue is the French government's proposals to loosen France's rigid and very lucrative, if you, for lack of a better term, a very good and decent plan, and as far as protections are concerned, for employees, for workers. They're fantastic. But the problem is that France can't seem to find a way to fund this any longer. How they ever funded it in the first place is beyond me, but it has been part of the culture and ingrained for many decades. And of course, people are very much right to rely upon things that have always been there. And when these things are starting to be pulled back, or there are proposals made to pull them back, then they become very upset. And I can't say that I blame them. Nobody would blame them. But this is the nature of the situation in Europe day after day, year after year since 2008. Austerity measures and measures to cut spending have always caused some type of backlash. And when the backlash occurs around large events like this, it costs a lot of money for a lot of people. And people, there are investors in this particular tournament. There are investors in every tournament. There are investors and people who are vendors that have a lot at stake here. And if there is even a slowdown in business because of this sanitation strike, those are the people who are going to be losing the most. Now, this is not a weekend of tolerating a few foul-smelling streets. This is a month-long event that could see a month of garbage accumulation. In fact, there are many possibilities above beyond just a bad smell. Health risks. And a health emergency may all but shut this thing down. And that would be a catastrophe for everybody involved who put any money into it. And plus the athletes. The loss of money would be astronomical, not only for the organizers and athletes, but also the entire French economy. Everyone from bakers to bass players in bars are expecting a solid month. No matter how correct the Hollande government may be, this is not the time to get into a fight with sanitation workers. If you have any foreign direct investment that stands to gain from this event, then you may want to read the fine print in your political risk insurance contract. I have no idea whether or not it will say that it will cover acts of political stubbornness at a bad time, but if you do find that particular clause in that contract, please let me know. This has been Mel Thompson.